Today's webinar will cover schedule editing using the iOps360 platform. Let's take a look. You can get to the schedule editor from a couple different ways. First, let's take a look at our day view. This is going to be the most detailed view, which is available under the schedule menu, followed by clicking on day view. From here, we're going to first note that if any filters have been applied, such as a particular user, a shift, a color code, cost center, those kind of things, we can click on the X to get back to all events for the day. To navigate to a different day, you can click on the calendar button to bring up a pop-up calendar. You can navigate forward a day, forward a shift, back a day, and back a shift using the navigational icons. These will be consistent throughout all of the views that we're going to look at today. Next, we're going to scroll down. We'll see the daily pass down. If you're a supervisor, you'll have the ability to modify the pass down. This is a place for shift handoff information, different notes for the day, PR events, tasks that need to be performed. Any kind of things like that can be put into the daily pass down. And then we'll start rolling down into the different cost centers and the different positions. Each of the cost centers will be listed out here. Again, you can filter those down with the filters up top. We're going to look at all of those right now. And we'll start seeing each location that we have built, followed by each position. There's a couple special positions out there. One is called Note. That allows you to drop any kind of notes out there to the staff members. Everybody can see those. Any recurring events that are inside iOps, such as training, inventory, truck check-off days, truck wash days, those kind of things, can all be placed into the notes as well as the recurring events, which will get put on the calendar automatically for you. As we start going down into each of the positions, you'll see the name of the position, the times, the normal operations of that position, who's assigned to it, and then your minimum staffing levels. If there's any violations of any rules that are set up, you can hover over that. It'll tell you exactly what the violation is. If you see that there's more or less staffing, we're going to highlight that for you in red. Next to each person, there's a color code. We've got gray on the supervisor C shift here. And then we also have the letters PAR representing paramedic. Is what iOps is going to call the skill level or the rank. The color codes and the skill levels are whatever you guys want them to be to help you guys make staffing decisions. We can put any kind of rules based on the skill level, based on the color code, those kind of things which are found under the system config. Any positions are going to have a little any kind of comments, notes will be a little blue bubble out to the side, and you'll see what that is, along with a swap icon. In case two users have swapped, we'll go ahead and place that for you. This is all going to be drag and drop editing, so if you needed to move someone to a different position, you can quickly do that. You can also left click on their name and bring up the main schedule editing dialog. This is where you can change the notes, the times, position, first half, second half, those kind of things, set lunch breaks. To the right of the name, we're going to go ahead and calculate the number of hours that they've worked this week, this pay period, this month, and this year to date for you. So if there's any questions, you send out an all call for coverage, and you're trying to prevent some overtime. When you go to put that person's name in there and you change that name, then you'll go ahead and recalculate those hours for you, and you'll see those. Down at the bottom, there's going to be two save buttons. The first one's going to be just a normal save, and then the second one will have the email icon right there. And that's going to send out a notification to app, email, text message, whatever that employee has to let them know their schedule's been changed. A couple other things you can do with that left click menu, quickly set them to first half, second half, back to the full position time. Under the Tools menu, you have some options there to duplicate a shift, split a shift, add comments, those kind of things. If you're taking someone off of a position and converting that to an open position, you also have the option there to make this an open position and send a notification to that employee immediately. The flags is going to give you a couple different options. If your system is using our pay codes feature, the flags may modify the pay code for that specific shift. If you're not using the pay codes, it's still good information out there. You can set any kind of flags to represent maybe who's in charge that day or anybody that has special duties, those kind of things. And you can, again, customize all the flags that you like in the system config menu. The hours summary is going to bring up the number of hours that this employee has worked per week, per pay period, per month, those same calculations we're looking at before. So if there's any questions about overtime, you can quickly refer to that and get that information. If the employee calls out sick, the move user to leave is the quickest way to go ahead and create a leave request, approve a leave request, and an open position for whatever time the leave was. So if this employee called out sick, we would click move user to leave. You can modify the sliders in case they were here for a couple hours, and then when in sick, we're going to go ahead and do the math for you through the end of the shift. We're going to ask you for the leave category. you may see the words non-deducting, meaning we're not taking away sick, vacation, holiday, those kind of hours from the employee. So there may be an admin leave that's not going to be deducting from their balances. They're coming off shift to do a conference or a task versus vacation, sick, holiday, those kind of things where we might prompt you for the time off that they're going to burn up. Supervisors can allow employee to go negative, so we're going to show you their leave hours balance effective of this date, whatever date you're editing, in the menu. And you may see that if they do have less hours there, you can put them negative. The employees can never go negative, but the supervisors do have the ability to do that. Under the description, you can put any kind of notes that you want to put in there as well, and then hit confirm and move user to leave. What the system has done is left the employee working for that whatever portion that morning. We've created a leave request for the remainder of the shift, and we went ahead and created a time off request and granted it for that employee. If you need to modify that time off request, you can click on it, set it back to pending, pending coverage, denied, and canceled from the right-hand menu, which we'll look at next. Last couple items in that drop-down menu, send the user the event information. If you're dragging, moving people between different positions, this is a great way to go ahead and do any kind of edits with the drag and drop, and then send the notification out to the employee. The second notification is a custom message. We're going to go ahead and pre-fill the message body for you. Your shift has been modified, but this gives you a way to put any kind of notes in there. Sorry I had to move you. This is why, any kind of rationale that you wanted to put in there. And then the last options, the users will filter it down to just that user schedule and a quick link over to their profile for contact information, those kind of things if you need to. Down at the bottom, any kind of color codes, shift letters, explanation of the keys, the flags, those kind of things throughout the site, you'll see those here as well. On the time off request menu, in the right-hand side, there's actually 3 menus nested in here. The first is going to be time off. Again, you can modify any time off request you want to, create a new time off request right by using the plus. The green icon is going to show you any availability for the day. Typically, this is your part-timers that have submitted, I'm available Thursday, use me wherever you want. We're going to show you the times they're available, the number of hours this week, this pay period, this month, this year to date, and then we're going to show you the utilization percentage. The utilization percentage is the number of shifts that you have used that person compared to the number of available days they've submitted. So if an employee submits more availability, you've utilized them 1 or 2 days, they're still going to have a fairly low utilization percentage. They're going to be at the top of the list. The goal there is to, the more days they submit, the more days we give them up to certain limits, keeping in factor overtime, those kind of things. But you don't have to use that utilization percentage. You can change the drop down here to sort it by the number of hours they've worked this week, this pay period, this year, those kind of things, and get the information you want. When there's an open position, you can drag the employee, the availability over on top of the open shift. We're going to go ahead and give you the hours that that open shift is currently open for, so you can click 8 hours. You can do whatever time the user said they're available, whatever time that that position typically operates, and then first half, second half. If you clicked those buttons, we're going to go ahead and show you how many hours they would have this week out to the right-hand side. So if there's any questions about, you're about to put someone in overtime, these numbers would be greater than your overtime threshold, and you'd be able to see that. The last option you can click in there is send a message to that user. So if you were designing the calendar and you're assigning all the availability for the month, you probably don't want to message them every single time. That may be a better use case for sending out one big message whenever the schedule's been published. But if you were making changes and you wanted to send out that message right now, you could click message the user now and then whatever time frame you wanted to assign them to. This system has got the message confirmations turned on. So we'll see a little orange email icon next to Amelia's name. Once she opens the message, she'll have an embedded link in there she can click to say that she has received the message, and then that email icon will go back to green, letting you know that she has confirmed that change. The third thing on the right-hand side is going to be the All Staff menu. This is where you'll see all of your staff members, who is full-time, who is part-time, color codes, and also the rank out next to their name. From here, you can also drag someone over to any position that you like. If you need someone just for a part of the shift, you could always click on their name, times, back to first half. And then we'll do second half. Cool. All right, when we zoom out of the day view, we can go to the week view by clicking on week in the top right-hand corner. We can also click on schedule and week view. There's going to be two week views. The first is going to be by position, and then there's a link here for the user view, which is going to flip the axes to each person. Either view is going to have similar information, so we'll keep on the user view for now. We have their profile picture here, the total number of hours they've worked this week. If we have a pay rate, we're going to show you what it costs to employ that person for the week. Still have the color code and the skill level out next to each person's name. We have all the positions here. Again, another drag and drop editor. Any kind of changes you want to do, you can modify those by dragging between the different days. You can also still click the edit event for all the details, first half, second halves, and those same options that we looked at on the day view. Any open shifts are going to appear up top, kind of those first things we need to deal with. As we scroll down, we'll see all the personnel in the system. Down at the bottom, any users with no hours are going to be listed at the bottom to help make your schedule editing a little bit easier. Same kind of thing, we can navigate to the next week. We can go back a week, quickly get back to today, and then the quick picks to change any date that we want to. The unit view is going to be very similar. We got the leave and availability down at the bottom. Same kind of aspects, you can drag and drop between any days. When we go to the month view, by clicking on schedule and month view, or month view in the top right hand corner of any of the schedule views, you're going to see the same workflow as before. Today's going to be highlighted. You can quickly see the shift letter, drag people between different days, click on any event to make any kind of changes that you'd like to. The really only difference with the month view is you'll see the alternating background colors. We have a lighter color here and a little bit grayer color here, representing the pay periods when one stops and the next one begins. Otherwise, all options will be there for you as well. A couple tips and tricks you can do on the schedule to kind of help filter and mitigate down. If you have multiple cost centers, you can filter those down to just, the A shift call center, the frontline trucks, those kind of things. You can also make any kind of custom views that you want to. The views allow you to pick which positions that you want to see in this. So there might be a day shift view and a night shift view. 911 center versus the frontline trucks. You can also choose in the views to include availability, include leave requests, those kind of things, and kind of help really filter that down to exactly what you're looking for. If you guys have any questions, just let us know, and we appreciate everything you guys do.